So here's the scoop. Back in the late 20th century, Japan really started making moves in the global market. They were this big economic powerhouse and they began snapping up properties and companies all over the place. Know the Rockefeller Center in New York? Yeah, a Japanese company bought it in the 1980s. It was a huge deal back then and kind of set the stage for other Asian countries to start looking beyond their borders for investment opportunities. Then you had the Asian tigers, places like South Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Singapore. As these economies started booming, they also got the itch to invest overseas. They began pouring money into everything from real estate to tech companies in the US, Europe, pretty much everywhere else. But the real game changer, China. Over the last couple of decades, China has gone from being just the world's factory to one of the biggest global investors out there. Chinese companies, often backed by the government, have been investing like crazy in Africa, Europe, the Americas, anywhere they see a chance. They've bought up mines in Africa, luxury apartments in New York and London, and they're all over those huge infrastructure projects under the Belt and Road Initiative. But as you already know by now, it's not just about making money for Asia. These investments are all about influence too. By throwing their money around globally, especially for China, these countries are securing resources, gaining political clout, and making sure they've got a seat at the table in global affairs so that they can match up with the world's power like the US and Russia. It's like they're playing the long game, trying to shape the future in their favor. And we Nigerians right now are the ones being played. Don't believe me? Let's talk about what happened 2 years ago with the governor of Lagos and a Chinese company. The Chinese government was getting pretty cozy with Lagos, especially in real estate. And their reasons are way darker than you think. Now, this is how they do it. In 2022, the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation, CCECC, kicked off a project to build this fancy 21-story apartment tower in Ikoyi. And as you can imagine, our governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu was all over it. He was there at the launch praising them like they were our new best friends. He even suggested that they don't just stick to luxury spots like Ikoyi, but also consider building homes for everyday folks in places like Alimosho, Agege, Ikorodu. The CCECC bigwigs like their managing director, Jimmy Zhong, and chairman Zhang Yigao were there too, nodding along. It was such a beautiful sight, and if you were there, you'd probably shed tears of joy. But here's the thing. If you know China and how they operate, then you would know they do not do anything charitable out of the goodness of their hearts. We are not their besties, and all they are doing is playing on some goodwill so that when they strike, no one would see them coming. And now it gets even more intense. Lagos is not the first Nigerian state to deal with China, and if you ask Ogun State, they'll tell you a story that will make shivers run down your spine. Let me tell you, the Chinese don't mess around when it comes to their money. They are not here to make friends, they are here to make deals. And they will do whatever it takes to get what they want. Just look at what's happening with Nigeria and Ogun State. So there was this deal with the Chinese company Zhongshan brought in during Governor Daniel's administration in Ogun State. Later, when Amusun was in charge, they made an agreement with Zhongfu, a subsidiary of Zhongshan. Things went south and the company was kicked out. So what did Zhongshan do? They took the whole thing to arbitration and ended up with a 55.6 million compensation award plus interest, which now totals over $70 million. And when Nigeria tried to fight it, the US courts basically said, too bad, pay up. But here's where it gets really wild. The Chinese did not just stop at one court. They went to every arbitral court they could find. The UK, Quebec, US, France, British Virgin Islands, Belgium, you name it. They weren't just looking for justice, they were trying to embarrass Nigeria on the global stage. And why? Because Ogun State didn't hold up to their end of the deal, and now the whole country is paying the price. People might think this is just about Ogun State, but it's not. It's about how the Chinese see Nigeria as an opportunity to make money and nothing more. They don't care about friendships or partnerships, they care about getting paid. And when they don't, they'll take whatever they can to settle the score. Even if that means seizing Nigeria's assets, including our presidential jet and properties abroad. But can you blame them? Agreement is agreement, right? Never mind that Amusun claimed he mistakenly signed said agreement with them. This isn't just some one-off incident either. The Chinese have a track record of using their financial power to control and influence. Look at what they've done in Zambia, Djibouti, and even Kenya and Angola. Sadly, they are sinking their teeth into the neck of Lagos at the moment, sucking up juicy cash flow for themselves, and most Nigerians are unaware. Let's get into the specifics of Chinese investment in Lagos. It's pretty massive. They are pouring money into key areas all across the city, and the numbers are nothing to sneeze at. Starting with the island in Ikoyi, for instance, they've got the Grand Panorama, a 21-story luxury apartment tower on Alexander Road. This project is being developed by the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation, CCECC. It's a high-end development with 75 units, and it's just one of the many projects they're involved in. We are talking millions of dollars invested here, not just in the building itself, but also in the surrounding infrastructure to make it all work. Over on the mainland, Chinese companies are heavily involved in projects like the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, the ongoing expansion of the Lagos-Badagry Expressway. These multi-million-dollar projects aimed at improving connectivity and easing traffic congestion in some of the busiest parts of the city. And then there's Lekki, which is quickly becoming one of the most talked about areas in Lagos. The Lekki Free Trade Zone, which has seen billions of dollars in investment, is a prime example of Chinese influence. There are 4 different zones handled by different administrators in Lekki, and the Chinese are in charge of the southwest zone. They are building industrial parks, residential complexes, and commercial spaces, all with the goal of turning the area into a major business hub. And that's not all. Ekpe is also seeing its fair share of Chinese investment, particularly in real estate and infrastructural projects designed to support the growing population as the area develops. But here's the thing. The Chinese are not just picking random spots. They are strategically investing in places where they see long-term value. Free zones, to be precise. It seems to be a recurring theme. But why free zones? What is so special about them? Well, these areas come with all sorts of perks like tax breaks, less red tape, 100% repatriation of funds, no expat quotas, among other benefits, which make them perfect for doing business. And if there's one thing the Chinese are great at, it's spotting opportunities and making the most of them. Take the Lekki Free Trade Zone, for example. The Chinese have pumped billions into this place, and it's turning into a massive industrial and commercial hub. They are not just building a few factories, they are creating entire communities with homes, offices, shops, you name it. It's all about attracting businesses from everywhere, and the Chinese are making sure they are right at the heart of it. The Asians and Chinese are keen on setting up businesses in Lagos and extracting more than enough value to enrich themselves. If you think it's just business, well, wait till the next few decades when Chinese shops are all over Lagos. What if it's not just business? What if there's something else, something deeper? Oh, and here's another example. Recently, a Chinese man moved away from his country and decided to base himself in Nigeria. And it's not just because he enjoys the Lagos traffic. This man purchased acres of land and planted yams all over. Now he's one of the biggest yam suppliers in the country. It's just business, right? From restaurants and cafes in Via like Flower Shop Cafe to factories and farmland in Lekki and Ogun, there is a heavy presence of Asian and Chinese investment in Lagos and Nigeria as a whole. On a personal note, a rep from Singaporean company recently contacted me. He represented a company in Singapore, and they too were wanting to lay claim of their own piece of the Lagos Free Zones. He was talking to all the major free zones in Lekki all at the same time, including me. The thing is, this isn't just about making a quick buck for them. The Chinese are playing the long-term game, and it seems as if they are only the ones seeing this opportunity. By investing in these zones now, they are setting themselves up to control these key areas and keep the money and influence flowing for years. They know exactly what they are doing and they are taking full advantage of it. But what exactly is a free zone and why should you care? Alright, so here's the deal with the free trade zones, FTZs, and why they are such a big thing in Nigeria. Imagine a special area in a country that is set up just to attract businesses, both local and international, by making it super easy for them to operate. That's basically what a free zone is. These zones are all about kickstarting economic growth and helping industries thrive, especially in developing countries. The major free zones in Lagos include the Southwest Free Zone, administered and operated by the Lekki Free Zone Development Company, LFZDC, established in May 2006 as a joint venture partnership pursuant to the Nigerian Export Zones Act. The joint venture comprises of a consortium of Chinese companies by the name China Africa Lekki Investment Limited, CALIL, formerly referred to as the CCECC Beyond International Investment and Development Corporation Limited, as the majority shareholder, and the Lagos State Government and Lekki Worldwide Investment Limited. LFZDC is authorized by both the Federal Government of Nigeria through the Nigerian Export Processing Zones Authority, NEPSA, and the Lagos State Government as the sole entity to develop, operate, administer, and manage the southwest quadrant of the Lekki Free Zone project. Solaram, a Singaporean company, also operates the Lagos Free Zone, a portion of the Southwestern Free Zone, and the Lagos Deep Sea Port in a concession agreement with the Lagos State Government. The other two free zones in Lagos are the Eko Atlantic, which we've spoken about, and Alaro City. Let's talk about Alaro City. It is the Northwest Zone quadrant along the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway and adjacent to the planned Lekki International Airport. This place is really shaping up to be something special. It is designed to be a light industrial mixed-use smart city that combines residential, commercial, and industrial spaces all in one. Imagine a community that's not just modern, but also incredibly well planned. Investing here means you're setting up and getting in on a development that's built for the future, complete with cutting-edge infrastructure and a layout that supports both business and lifestyle. Plus, since it's only part of the free zone, you benefit from tax incentives and streamlined regulations, making it easy and more profitable to run your business. Free zones offer you no imports or excise duties, which makes it even easier to run your business. By the way, Alaro City is the only free zone in Lagos not majorly operated, administered by Chinese or Asian strings. But there's still massive Chinese investments here, and they are buying up massive land here too. Trust me, I know that. If you wanted to buy land in Alaro City, the low density would be starting from $150 per square meter. The medium density will be starting from $169 per square meter, and the high density will be starting from $186 per square meter. The commercial boulevard in one of the largest private roads in West Africa is going to go for $270 per square meter, and other commercial will be going for $195 per square meter. The industrial SME will be going for $195, industrial road 1 $220, the mixed use $195. So what should you consider investing in free zones? Here's the scoop. Strategic location. Both Eko Atlantic City and Alaro City are in prime locations with excellent access to major markets and infrastructure. This makes them ideal for both business and residential investments. Incentives. Being in a free zone means you get perks like tax break and fewer regulatory hurdles, zero fees, zero tax, imports and exports, and you're getting early on development that are set to grow and offer significant returns in years to come. There's also the potential for future growth. These projects are designed with a vision for the future. Investing now means you're getting in early on developments that are set to grow and offer significant returns in years to come. High demand. With Lagos' booming economy and growing population, there's a strong demand for commercial and residential spaces. These free zones are well positioned to meet and exceed that demand. International appeal. Both Eco-Atlantic and Alaro City are attracting global attention and investment, which is great for local investors who want to benefit from international investment and interest. In a nutshell, putting your money in Alaro City or Eco-Atlantic isn't just about buying property. It's about being a part of Lagos' exciting future and setting yourself up for long-term success. If the idea of investing here seems exciting to you, feel free to contact us and we'll help you and get you the best real estate investments in this strategic location. Lagos is for Nigerians after all. Why leave it all to the Chinese? Speaking about the Chinese and Asia's foothold in Lagos, what do you think about it? Are they being exploitative or is it just business? Let us know in the comments, and if you've enjoyed this video, kindly like, kindly share, kindly subscribe, and I'll see you at the very next video. This is the Ownahome TV show, and here at Ownahome we believe owning a home, owning a property should not make you lose sleep, so we are committed to give you the very best property recommendation and send the real estate gist. Bye bye.